Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The topic was carrying on zuhad, that is to not have excess love for this world. In this hadith here, Hazrat Abu Hurairah narrates from Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam concerning the world. A person looks at that person who is lower than him concerning the world, and those people who are above you, higher than you concerning the world, then should not look up upon them. And the benefit of that is, and the ni'mat which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you, you will value the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and will appreciate the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another riwayat is mentioned, the person who, according to the states of his wealth, or a person according to his health, or according to his appearance, he looks very good and better than you. The person who is lower than you in rank, look at him, so that you can appreciate the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the meaning of the riwayat actually is, of the hadith is that, then Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us a very good principle of our lives, how to conduct our lives. He gives us principle in our lives, then inshallah we won't have any problems in our lives. In other words, a person's natural habit of a person is to have love for this world. The more love he has for the world, the more he'll get involved into the world, and he won't have contentment with himself. He won't be happy with himself. To bring this happiness within ourselves, bring contentment within ourselves, Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam has given us this formula to adopt. Now the person who is higher than you, you're going to see his life, you're going to associate with him, then you'll have more love for this world, and will aspire to get more things. With the result, you'll start doing wrong things, haram things, to acquire something, to come of that status with him, and you cannot compete with him. With the result, you won't have patience with you, and you'll be always complaining. But if you look at somebody who is of a lower status than you, then you'll appreciate what Allah has given to you, and you'll have contentment with yourself also. You'll have patience with yourself also. Like for example, you find a person has got one factory, has got one shop, for example. And now you see somebody else has got 2 shops and 3 shops and 4 factories he's got now. Now a desire comes in the person, I also have 2 shops and 3 shops and 4 shops now. When you start opening more shops, and slowly you find he can't control whatever there is, and he'll end up with losses after that. So now he's not content with what he has got with himself. Person's got one car, for example, he's got a Mercedes with him now. It's the next one's got a BMW or Porsche, some other car. Now I must have a car like that now. So because of that now, his peace and contentment is destroyed already, affected already. But if you look at somebody who is lower than him, then he'll appreciate whatever he's got by himself. So that brings contentment within the person, and he won't look at wrong avenues to achieve something in the world. So Abdullah ibn Mubarak rahmatullah alayhi was a very big muhaddith also, and he was very wealthy also at the same time. His habit was that one year he should go make Hajj, and one year he should go in jihad. That was his method of operation. One day he made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that give me wealth, make me wealth also, and make me die like a poor person also at the same time. So Allah Ta'ala gave him a lot of wealth also. He was very wealthy also. But at the same time, he should sit with the poor people. He should sit with the people who was less fortunate. He should stay in their company. They should appreciate what Allah has given to him. For example, somebody in the beginning, what he should do? In the beginning, he should sit with people who are wealthy people. Should sit, because he has wealth for himself. And he didn't have so much wealth, and other people had more wealth than him. So you should also desire must have wealth like that person also. So somebody's got some beautiful clothes, you should also desire, I must have such beautiful clothes also. And with the result, he couldn't get those type of clothes, he couldn't wear that type of clothes, he couldn't afford that types of clothes. But the result should feel hurt in his heart, that I can't even afford this much also. See, somebody got a beautiful conveyance, you see that, and should have get hurt in his heart. I can't get such a beautiful conveyance, or such a beautiful house that I can't get. And there's always a means of complaining by him. He should get hurt in all the time in his heart. And if somebody sees somebody's possessions, then no matter how much you got within yourself, but you will see something different there, and you desire to achieve those things, have that things also. Go to somebody's house, for example, you see the type of food they've cooked, for example, now. Now you think this food is a better food. I must try and cook this type of food also at home. Now the food you are eating at home is healthy food, good food you got, but you don't like this, you like that food now. Now you want to change your habits, your eating habits you want to change now. So the contentment you had within yourself, slowly it gets destroyed within yourself. So this is a natural thing in a person. When one person sees something, then he wants those things within himself. So we say when I was studying with the wealthy people, then this was always my complaint with himself. I haven't got this, I haven't got that. How this people are, I would behave like them, and always was in sorrow and all the time. Then after that, I went to go and sit to the poor people who are low in status than me. When I started sitting with them, at that time I got contentment with myself. I started appreciating the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I started being sugar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I have also got clothes. My clothes are better than this people's clothes, whatever it is. My convenience is better than this people's convenience, whatever it is. And my house is a better house than their house. So in this manner, he got contentment, he got peace and satisfaction he got. So because he was a muhaddis, he read the hadith of Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he practiced upon it and he achieved what he's supposed to achieve. Now what Mustakim is trying to explain, he said, I'm trying to explain to you, he said that there's one thing that whatever difficulty a person undergoes is because of his understanding. Understanding is correct, then all the difficulty is going to go away. And if the understanding is not correct, then all the difficulties come with wrong understanding of the person. In the end, Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam given us a formula now how to get rid of this sickness a person falls into. So Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the person who got a lot of wealth with himself, and health-wise is better than you also, appearance-wise is better than you also, and then at that time now, that person will look at somebody who is lower than him. When you look at somebody who is lower than him, then he won't feel that hurt in himself at all. He won't feel that pain within himself. He won't be impatient now that why I'm not like that person now. I see how beautiful, how much health that person's got. Look at his appearance, look at his clothing, look at his house, whatever it is. But you look at somebody who is lower than you, then you appreciate what you got by you. For example, as I explained, he said that you find a person, even if you got a house, for example, of 3 million or 5 million house you also, still too you feel a pain in yourself. Why next person got a better house than me also? So the only way how to solve this problem is, and the formula Nabi Karim explained was that look at a person who's living in a shanty, for example. If you got your house, a beautiful house, comfortable house you got, but if you look at a person who's got a shanty now you appreciate what you got now. If you look at somebody who's got a mansion now, you will hurt himself. How that person got a mansion, I can't afford a mansion also. So now you get hurt with yourself. Now if you look at people who are lower than you, you'll appreciate what Allah has given to you. In the same manner, a person who's got a shanty, for example, now he will look at a person who's lower than him, that person who sleep on a footpath, for example. That person sleeping on a footpath, he's got no place to sleep also. Some people sleeping on a railway station, they sleep on the benches, they sleep. Or in the parks, they sleep in the parks, they sleep. Or under the bridges, they sleep, whatever. So how are these people's life? So you'll appreciate that shanty you've got also, you'll appreciate that also, you'll appreciate it. Allah has given me so much at least. So this is what Nabi Karim brought shown us a formula how to get contentment within yourself and not to strive for more and more. Because as a human nature, you would like to strive for more and more, and when you can't get more and more than whatever's now you use wrong avenues then. Then you go into bribery, or you go into interest, or you go into stealing, or do wrong haram things to do achieve whatever you want to achieve, and that will be very dangerous for a person. So to save yourself from all those wrong things, Nabi Karim sallallahu has given us formula. Adopt this formula and still get comfort within yourself. Fine. It comes also in the hadith, one place it comes, there's one person who's always complaining that he's got very little. So Nabi Karim sallallahu asked him that, where are you staying? I'm staying certain area I'm staying. Nabi Karim sallallahu told him, no, change your residence now, go to stay in another place now. So immediately he shifted his residence, went to the other place and went to stay there. Now, after some time, Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked him again that, how are you feeling now? You haven't come back to me? Alhamdulillah, I'm very, very well off, he said. Alhamdulillah, I'm better than many, many people. I'm better than many people also. Why? The reason was in the first place we were staying was all wealthy people staying there. So look at the wealthy people, he should have pain in his heart, he should get hurt in his heart. I can't afford this, I can't afford this, I'm like this. But when he shifted his residence to an area where there was a lower area, they started having sugar. I got so much, Islam got so much also. So the result, he got patience came to him and he lived a comfortable life. So this formula Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us how to bring about this patience and contentment within the person also. Yeah, Imam Sa'di Rahmatullah says, one day I didn't have shoes. I was very worried and I felt hurt in my heart. I haven't got shoes to wear today also. And he went out into the bazaar bare feet. When he went in the bazaar, he saw somebody didn't have feet at all. Now he shukr to Allah, I got feet with me at least. So he looked at somebody who was lower than him. So was intent with the result, he got content with it. I got feet at least. I haven't got shoes, doesn't matter. I got feet at least. I got. At the same time, a person's desires, there's no limit to a person's desires. So let me tell you one small little incident that took place with me. You see, one day I was traveling and I missed the train. And there was no bus also, so it was one truck going. I took a lift on the truck and I sat in the truck to complete my destination. So when I sat in the truck, there was one other person also sitting in the truck. He was also alim, and I started talking with him slowly. So that person, the alim, started telling him, saying that and we read in the kitab always that whatever Allah Ta'ala has predestined for you, you will get those things there. And what is not in your muqaddar, you won't get it. We read this, but I didn't have complete trust in this. I read it, but it was just, I had always a doubt in my mind, you see. So one day when I saw that I was working into teaching in one madrasa, and he was getting 1,200 rupees as the wages he was getting. So he thought to himself that now that many people, they go to Saudi Arabia, they go and they earn a lot of money from there, live a very comfortable life. I think I also must go to Saudi Arabia and earn a comfortable life. Since down here, a person gets 500 rupees, and a person go to Saudi Arabia, gets 500 riyals they get. To imagine if 500 riyals works, how many rupees works out here? So he started calculating himself, I'll get so much money, I'll become so wealthy, I'll do this, whatever it is. So he sold his house, whatever money he had, but with that he prepared to go to Saudi Arabia, he got his visa, whatever it is, and bought his ticket and he went away. Now when they started working there, and getting his 500 riyals a month, whatever it is, he started sending the money back to India now, paying all his debts now. When we took the money to buy the tickets, whatever it is, he did paid off whatever it is, and sent money at home for as reserve also. After 2 years, when he came back home, when I came back home, I started making accounts to see where I stand now. And when I started making accounts of where I stand, I found out that the money I sent from there, I paid off all my debts also, and the money I was owing, besides paying all other people, besides the debt I was owing, I gave them also the money, I paid them. The money left behind was equal to the money I was earning here before I left for Saudi Arabia. See, I was earning 1,200 rupees I was earning every month. When I divided that money into 2 years, that whatever saving I got was equal to that money it was. So I came to realize that definitely that what is in the muqaddar, you definitely will get that. You won't get more than that, you won't get less than that. So I went there, what exercise which I underwent going to Saudi Arabia, coming back was just useless for me. I just stayed behind in India and carried with my wages of 1,200 rupees, she have the same money she have left me. So whatever is in the muqaddar definitely comes to you, say, this is called haqqul yaqeen, see here. So here we have yaqeen and trust. There are 3 stages of this. One is called ilmul yaqeen, one is called ainul yaqeen, and one is called haqqul yaqeen. So the definition of this is that ilmul yaqeen means if somebody tells you something that look, fire will burn you. Now you got a knowledge that fire will burn you, and you believe that person telling you why fire will burn you. So this is called now ilmul, knowledge of yaqeen, of knowledge of confidence you got now in the fire is going to burn you. Now the second stage now is that now you see a person falling into a fire or a person burning, whatever it is, and you saw that person burning and your eyes can see how the person is suffering because of the burning. Now this is called ainul yaqeen now. You're witnessing what is happening, that incident now. And the third step now is that haqqul yaqeen means that sometimes by mistake, for example, tea fell onto your hand and you burned now. Or some oil fell onto you and you burned now. Now you experience and burn yourself. So that is called now haqqul yaqeen, that is called now. So these are the three stages of yaqeen that a person achieves. So yeah, this person now, when he went to Saudi Arabia and came back now, he got haqqul yaqeen, said whatever Allah Ta'ala has said is definitely true, it is. And what was my muqaddar? I got so much, and my exercise for 2 years was just useless, in other words. And you'll find that many people's lives, you study many people's lives also, you'll find this in their lives, that a person has got, for example, a person has got a shop now, and to open up a shop, what he does, he takes a loan from the bank. Want to open up a factory or anything, whatever it is, he'll take a loan from the bank now. Now now the business has started now. He's got the workers working by him also. He's giving them wages also. Goods are coming. He's paying the accounts also at the same time. He's paying the bank the installment also. He's paying the bank the interest also at the same time. Sometimes some offers come. He could give a bribe. He's giving a bribe also, whatever it is. When get some work done, then he give a bribe for that also. And the whole thing is business just carrying on like normal. You can see business carrying on all the time. And at the same time, he got his accounts also, books also in order, whatever it is. He's submitting his books to the tax department also. Everything is order, working in order. But at the end, how much comes to him? And then how much comes to him after that? After all those expenses going around, such a big business he got, how much comes to him? How much he can eat? So much. How much he can wear? How much he can live? That's what comes to him, which will benefit him. So before having this factories also, he had so much he could live comfortably. But after having these factories or the shops, whatever extra shops, extensions, whatever he made now, then after paying all the expense, whatever it is, only so much money he's getting. How much is necessary for his daily expenses? And then also you'll find that some people are owing money. Some people never pay the accounts on time. So what the result is always in the problem, and is always complaining that business is carrying on, but I'm in a problem all the time. Why? Because he didn't have confidence in the words of Allah and His Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He started his business with interest now started. So because he started business with interest, now expenses also according to that the barakat goes away with it. When you start his business with halal money in a proper manner, business was small on a smaller scale, whatever it is, he had less problem within himself. And at the end, whatever he was supposed to achieve, he should get so much also. So these are all examples we see around us, wherever we are, and we take lesson from these examples, then we get contentment with ourselves. It's useless expending so much which you cannot control yourself. Rather expend how much you can control and look after yourselves. It's not to expend so much that is more beneficial, more wise, that is. The Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi, one incident of the Shaykh mentioned here, that Sufi Iqbal Sahab, who was a Khalifa of the Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi, and one day in his youth he came to the Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi and told, I want to start doing some business now. And then Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah told him one incident. He told him, then my situation is such, I stay in Saharanpur, and I think that all the shops in Saharanpur, everything belongs to me, see. And all these people are working for me, they're all getting their wages also, whatever it is, and whatever is in my muqaddar, I'm getting and using myself, whatever it is. In other words, the Shaykh is trying to explain to him that I think that everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah ta'ala makes this whole system here, whatever it is, and whatever is my muqaddar, I'm getting my share, whatever it is. So when he heard this, from this type of thinking from Shaykh Rahmatullah alayhi, immediately a thought of open up a business and growing very big, whatever it is, just disappeared from his mind, he said. So he said, just how your person thinks. Just the thinking just change, your desire also change according to that. Here the Shaykh explained, look, everything belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The whole world belongs to Him. Now just in your town, the whole town belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And all are working, whatever it is. All are getting their wages, whatever it is. And whatever is my muqaddar, I'm getting my share, whatever it is from there. So show that whatever Allah has predestined for you, you won't get so much. With just in that way, then you won't feel hurt about the whole thing. So in reality, you've got to understand that whatever we're doing, how much we can explain whatever it is, but what is our expense? How much is our expense? If you earn much more than what was our expense, what are we going to do with that money? When a person, all you got to understand the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah ta'ala give you some ni'mat, then that ni'mat has got some rights attached to that ni'mat also. For example, Allah has given ni'mat which is more than your needs, then that extra ni'mat you must give it to those people who are in need of it. That's called sadaqah you're going to give. You're going to give zakat, you're going to give. Help them out, whatever it is. Then that extra wealth is of benefit for you. That's why it comes to hadith also, that wealth which you have spent on yourself, which you have eaten, while you have walked, clothed with it, or whatever given a path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is your wealth. That's what you're going to benefit from there. Besides that, it is not your wealth. It will go for the inheritors, you're going to go. So it is important to understand this part, that Allah ta'ala wants us to spend also at the same time. And likewise wealth, Allah wants us to spend that wealth also. So a person spends it happily in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will be rewarded for it. And you feel happy, comfortable, I did spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If not, because it is to spend wealth. But if you never spend wealth happily in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what happened now? Now you see he's getting losses. People are stealing from him. Something, things are missing something, whatever it is. Now, people are benefiting from him. But they're benefiting in such a way that he's getting hurt. I got a loss now, I got a robbery now, this happened to me, that happened to me now. But he's benefiting people, but in the wrong way he's happening. And he's getting hurt all the time. So we just understand the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we follow the system, then you feel comfortable and happy at least. That I'm benefiting somebody, I'm helping somebody, I'm making my akhirat now, you feel comfortable. On the other hand now, if somebody steals your wealth, you got no robberies, you got some losses, whatever it is, whatever now, you are benefiting people, but you're getting hurt, you're not happy about it. So if you follow the law, the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you'll find that happiness coming within yourself, and you feel contentment coming within yourself also at the same time. So whatever is in your muqaddar, you can't avoid those things. Shaykh Rahmatullah Ali, he wrote one kitab also on taqdeer. In there, he wrote many incidents in that kitab concerning taqdeer and how Allah's system works, he said. Many people's examples have been put inside there. The Shaykh said that normally when a person comes to ask for a tawiz, then this person never speaks a lie. Always speaks the truth he speaks. And then come to find out that where he went wrong, what he did wrong, what happened. So what is in the muqaddar will definitely come to the person. So here in kitab, one incident has a road says, Shaykh says it, that one will find a person, he's a very wealthy person, and now he's got a cook to cook food at home now. Now the cook is a very poor person, he's cooking food, working for him, he's getting wages. But when he cooks, for example, he cooks biryani or chicken, he cooks whatever it is, now what happens? You also get a share from that. Because he's working now, they give him a share to eat also. The poor person now, without working for that money, he's getting a share from there already now. So that was his muqaddar. A person's got a very expensive car he's got now. To drive the car, he needs a driver now. So he's got a driver. The driver is a poor person working for him, he's getting wages for it. But the car belongs to this wealthy person, he worked for it, everything. But this poor person is enjoying the ride in that car already, enjoying. So what is in the muqaddar, it will happen, definitely happens like that. Although the poor person don't own a car, but he's driving a very expensive car he's driving. And at the same time, for example, you find somebody, they're in jail because of committing some crime. And find somebody in jail, like Hazrat Madani Rahmatullah Ali, because of suffering of the people. At that time, the independence movement was taking place, and he was working towards the independence movement in that he was. Because of that, he should be imprisoned again and again. He should be imprisoned. Now, he's not being imprisoned because of some crime or anything, but because of helping the people and get freedom. So everything is different days, whatever it is. And these people, when they're in prison also, but then what is prison for them? Hazrat Gangoi Rahmatullah Ali was also in prison. And when he went to prison, what he started teaching the prisoners Quran, Namaz, whatever it is. And so much for time came for his release from prison. One person was reading Quran to Hazrat Gangoi Rahmatullah Ali. He said, what would my Quran going left in half? You're not going to get complete my Quran now, you're going away. Hazrat Gangoi said, no, don't worry, I'll stay till I finish your Quran and I'll go away, don't worry. He stayed extra in the jail, finished his Quran and he went away. The jail warden also, the prisoners, they think, what wrong does this person do? People, when they get released from jail, they run, go quickly, they go away. He's staying extra in jail. What's happening? So for them, he said that for them it's not a punishment, this. So it shows that they got the purpose in life, an object in life to follow. For the result, they got contentment within themselves. So the actual thing is to achieve that contentment within ourselves. One incident mentioned also there in India, there was one person who was very wealthy person, who was a millionaire, more than a millionaire also he was. And he said when he smokes his cigarette, in that time how many thousands of rands of income he get. So that person, but what was his situation was that it was so sick, his stomach couldn't digest any food. So the doctor told him that you must take the water of the dal, boil the dal, not the dal, only the water of the dal, you must take your stomach to only digest that. And if you eat any food, you're going to die after that. So he was so frightened that he couldn't eat food at all the water of the dal should take, and that was his muqaddar. In spite of having so much of wealth, but his muqaddar was to drink that was his food. So it shows that whatever is now muqaddar, definitely that will come to us, and that belongs to us, and we're happy with that, whatever it is. So the actual reason Hazrat Mustafa explains, says here, he says that the people work very hard, whatever it is, and they go under a lot of stress, whatever it is, and then they say we got a lot of tension we got now, because they haven't got this belief within themselves, whatever is in my whatever in my muqaddar, I'll get that. So they work hard, whatever it is, they work and they overwork themselves also, but at the end they don't get what they received. But what is the result? They say they are in tension now. We're in depression now. We don't know what to do. So once a person haven't got this belief in himself, he haven't got the understanding within himself, then definitely he will be under tension. For example, in Karachi, the wealthy people should come to Shafi Sahab Rahmatullah Alayhi, should come to him and spend time, sit in his company. So some of the wealthy people should come and always tell us that make dua for our business. Make dua for our business, we're running at a loss. Make dua for our business, we're running at a loss. After a few years went past like that, Mustafa got quite worried and concerned about them. He told, you know what, so when business is running at a loss, then change your business. Why run a business is going to get a loss? It's not a wise thing that. So they kept quiet. So somebody else who was a business people in the same majlis there, they told us that's not the case that. I said, what's the case then? He said, these people, business people, they have their meetings, annual meetings they have, and in that they have a projection. They must have so much sales, get so much profits must get. So end of the year when they have the meeting again, after taking stock taking, they take and they stay and balance the sheet, balance everything, and they see from there that the projection we had, we never achieve our projection. So that's our loss, they say, So saying what I thought was what they were talking, what they were saying me dua for, something totally different it is now. Because they haven't got that muqaddar, we're going to get that much, so they think that to be a loss. So they haven't got contentment within themselves. When you've got contentment within yourself, you don't behave in that manner. You don't have tension with yourself, or you don't go into depression also at the same time. And at the same time, as our experience says, now we find those people who live in the cities, for example, and like for example in America, you find it's a very big city, wealthy city, well-developed country it is now. Those people living in the cities, they got more tension within themselves compared to those people living in the outskirts, living in the villages, in the countryside. They got less the tension they got, because their life standard is of a low standard it is. They're happy with whatever they got. They got time for everything they got there. And the people in the city are very busy, always busy they got. And so they're always in tension there. And they're always in depression there. So how we going to conduct our lives, according to that is going to be the result. At one place, somebody complained to Hazrat about this lot of problems, and it can't make ends meet, and very difficult, whatever it is. Hazrat gave a small, little simple example. Hazrat gave them. Say the person has got a sheet, and it's winter now. He's got a sheet. If he covers his feet, the head stays open, and if he covers his head, the feet stays open. Now, what is the solution to keep the head also covered and the feet also covered now? So people couldn't understand. Say, how is it possible? I say very simple it is. Now, as I said, I just squeeze his leg a little bit, then the sheet will cover his head also and feet also, everything. So in the same way, you just make your necessities a little bit less, you make your status being a little bit low, little bit. You see, you manage all your expenses. You have no problem with have. So these are the formulas which our Akabin give, and we get from the Hadith and the Quran they get, which gives contentment to a person, satisfaction to a person. That you conduct our lives according to that, then you got no problem. In other words, whatever problems come upon us, we bring it on ourselves, bring it. Because we don't understand the formula given to our Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam also said that the person's death will never come to the person until he eats his risk which is destined for him. So until the risk is not given to him, his death will not come. If we have that yaqeen within ourselves, then we won't go into the extra mile of working and overtime working and all. We won't worry for all those things there. Because we know whatever risk is for us will come to us. We have time for ibadat of Nabi Kareem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, follow the sunnah of Nabi Kareem sallallahu. We have time for everything we'll have time for, because we know our risk is specified by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now we find many people, they want to take shortcuts to get and become rich very, very, very quickly also, and become wealthy also. So all this has come about because they haven't got that contentment within themselves. So actually, a Muslim life his focus must be the year after always. When he focuses the year after, what's going to benefit from the year after, that he'll earn so much, and the remainder time he'll live for is ibadah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's got a family life also, he'll look after the family life also, he will attend to that also, and attend to his connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, and his earning also. That's why Akabin say when a person in 24 hours, he must distribute the 24 hours. Keep 8 hours for sleeping maximum, and minimum 6 hours for sleeping, say. Then 1/3 again you must keep for your earnings, and 1/3 must keep for your ibadat and your family life, whatever it is. If you distribute your time like that, then you got no problem. You got everything works out well. But if you don't do that, then you spend more time in earning, and at the end you only get so much what is in your muqaddar. So with the result, the tension builds into you, and none will get done. When Hakim Sahab in Kanpur should make surma, all he should make, nothing more should make. The surma is very famous, and all should get benefit for the surma. So before Fajr Namaz, at the Tahajjud time, there was a queue in front of his shop. She opened his shop after Fajr Namaz, she did Fajr Namaz, she did Ishraq Namaz, and after Ishraq she went to open his shop. And she started selling the surma to everybody. The minute he got his target, that's much I must earn, my expense is so much, she closed the shop. The long queue outside said, no, come tomorrow again. They all go. That's why the queue was from Tahajjud, the queue in front of that. We must be the first one to get our surma must get. And you don't give extra stock to somebody. Each one will buy their own stock. So he said, what is my muqaddar? I'll get my muqaddar, and should come and buy from me surma. So those are the people who had contentment with them. My needs are so much, I must earn so much, and the remainder of the time I must be ibadat to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we work the opposite. We work so much extra, and we got no time to ibadat to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's where we are faltering. It's narrated from Abu Hurairah, narrated from the Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said that person is a very bad person who is a slave of money and a slave of clothing. If a person gets these things in his life, then he's happy. And if you don't get these things there, then he's displeased and sad. He feels hurt about it. In this hadith, Nabi Kareem sometimes said the temperament of people, the nature of people. What was the nature of people? If they get something from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which they want, then say, Allah shukr, we got everything we got. But if they don't get something which they want, then start complaining to Allah. We haven't got this, we can't get this. Otherwise, you're becoming a slave of what you want. You start working day and night. You slog yourself so much to achieve whatever you want. And your muqaddar will get what is in the muqaddar you're going to get. But you don't get more than that, you're going to get now. So this is, I'm trying to explain here, that don't become the slave of your work. Become a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Have time for the ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you'll find many people find that the whole life is full of tension. They don't know what to do. But when you go to the masjid, they get relaxed, the energy is being built into the body already. For example, the person goes to the masjid, goes to azan time to the masjid, he reads a sunnat namaz, and has got time to wait for the namaz, for the jamaat. Now he's pondering on the qudrat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. doing subhanallah, doing alhamdulillah, doing Allah Akbar, some tasbih, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how much of ease and comfort will that person get? How much of strength and energy don't come into the person? After namaz, he makes a little bit ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, some tasbih, he makes dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, read a little bit of Quran. Now you go, even the masjid is fresh now already. So this shows that when we have time for ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we get energized also at the same time. And at the same time, we get contentment also at the same time. So our daily lives must be around namaz always. Whatever work we do must be around namaz all the time. Then focus our namaz all the time, then we'll have energy all the time with ourselves to do a lot of work with them also. And some people, what they say, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us some wealth, some comfort, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And sometimes a little bit of the comfort has been decreased a little bit. It's such now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is angry with us now. He's sad with us, whatever it is. How can we speak such things? That shows that because you got no contentment with yourself, you speak like that. And a Muslim don't talk things like that. It means that when Allah is giving you something, then Allah is alive, in other words. Allah is not giving anything now, Allah is not there, in other words. That's not how a Muslim should speak. So this is the nature of human being has been mentioned in this hadith, for example. They don't become a slave of the wealth, but become a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah gives you something, then be happy with it and try and make ends meet in that. And when there isn't anything, make sabr. Allah will give it when time comes, inshallah. And for many examples you'll find that people make sabr, then Allah test them in that manner, and afterwards when they pass the test, then definitely you'll find they get a lot of never Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Others explain as one person in Gango, he thought to himself that now I must eat chicken every day. And in that olden days, there wasn't just our broiler chicken, there was just desi chickens you get. So say whatever is made, the Prophet Allah must only give me chicken to eat. Say for how many months he never eat food, he was hungry, whatever it is, he bought all this, but Allah would put on a promise, no, whatever it is. But afterwards, when the test was over, I say every day had one chicken to eat. So the test do come in a person's life. If you have patience within yourself, have this conviction in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah definitely accepts your du'as. Shaykh Rahmatullah also find that one day he was thinking that how next week I can have a chicken to eat like, So after that desire came in his heart, he say, every day chicken should come to him, you see. And sometimes somebody sent chicken for him, Raipur is sending chicken, somebody sent chicken for him. He said, no, why does mouth speak like that? He said that now every day chicken is coming to me, you see. So the person, whatever hopes you have in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah fulfills that hope definitely. One other hadith here, and one to Abu Hurairah narrates, says that Ahl Sufa in Medina Munawwara, when I counted them, there were roughly about 70 of them there was there. And said none of them I saw that some of them had a sheet, one sheet to cover themselves, some had two sheets to cover themselves. And some use one sheet to cover themselves in such a way to make a knot on the top, and the shin should be left open. And some of them had so little cloth there, they should cover the private areas which cover. And some had only one sheet on the low part of the body, and the top part was always without a sheet, it was naked. And that's how they should live there. And many of them should sit in such a way that should fasten the cloth together. They mustn't open up. There's so little cloth within themselves. So Sufa was the place like a platform, a raised platform in Masjid Nabawi. When entered the Masjid Nabawi, then in the back section of the Masjid Nabawi, there was this platform which should stand there, these people. And these people normally were not married also. They had no farms. They had no work, they had nothing, just sit there and learn the deen from Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just do nothing else, just learn the deen from Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They had no other responsibilities besides that. Like Hazrat explained, like for example, it's like our madaris will find, our madrasa will find, the children only come to learn the deen only. And they do no other work. The food is provided for them, whatever it is. But the Sahab Sufa for them, the wealthy Sahaba should bring the khajur from the orchards, and leave the bunches in the masjid there, And each Sahabi, according to his needs, should eat 1 or 2 khajurs, should eat from there to fulfill and satisfy the hunger, whatever it is. And unlike in the Madaris, you get proper food whatever it is. So yeah, that's what Ashab is super. They should live in Masjid Munawwara and should learn the deen from the Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Sufa means a raised platform, and the number also should increase and decrease also. Some like how in the Madrasa you find sometimes the road increases, sometimes the road decreases. Same thing was there also. And at that time, the people's clothing normally was to wear sheets. 2 sheets they should use. 1 sheet to cover the lower garment and 1 sheet to cover the top garment and the top of the body. This was the sheet, and normally the lower sheet was of a plain cloth, and the top sheet had some type of a embroidery whatever on top to show the top sheet. So the top sheet was called a rida, and the bottom sheet was called izar. So Nabi Karim also had in between the hadith also Nabi Karim also clothing was also of a should wear 1 sheet on the top and 1 lungi in the bottom. It was that was the normal clothing of at that time. So this was the clothing of the Ashab Sufa also, that some of them had only 1 piece of cloth, and some of them had so short cloth that should fasten to keep the body covered. But if, in spite of all this, they didn't have any complaint to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They had contentment within themselves, and they prepared for the year after all the time they prepared. So when we have, come in the hadith also, the Nabi Karim sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that, I fear for my ummah, I never fear for them for poverty. For the poverty, they had patience and they passed the test of poverty. I fear for them for wealth. When wealth will come to them, they will be able to do justice to that wealth that come to them or not. Well, they make the ibadat on after getting wealth. How will they be able to shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after getting wealth? That is a bigger examination for them. That's why the Sahaba Karam should say afterwards, you say, when poverty, we had patience and we passed the test very easily. But when wealth came to us, that was a very, very difficult examination for us, and to keep up to the standard of Sharia. Because when wealth comes, then it comes with responsibilities. If you fulfill the responsibilities, then there's no problem. But if you don't fulfill the responsibilities, then that's where the problem comes. What's happened when wealth comes now, you forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't read your namaz, you don't read your Quran, you don't read tasbih, you don't worry of your family, people, all the things. Those things are now dangerous. When wealth comes, you got to fulfill the rights of the wealth also at the same time. In this hadith here, that's from the Nabi Karim sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam narrates, says that the world is like a prison for the mu'min, and it's like a jannat for the kafir it is. Now we can understand from here what is the life in the prison. And a person in the prison is always restricted to many things. And in the prison, whatever is available, he'll try to make ends meet with whatever is present in the prison. This example is given to us that mustn't feel attached to the world all the time only. That this world is like a prison for a mu'min. Don't attach yourself so much to the world that you forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also. Like when a person is in a prison, he doesn't feel comfortable in a prison. He likes to make ends meet whatever he gets there, and the moment his sentence is over, he'll get free from the prison. Same way a mu'min, the world is like a prison for the mu'min. A lot of restrictions. This is halal, this is haram, you can't do this, you can't do that, whatever it is. You make your ibadah also, you can worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also. All the restrictions are there, like how it is in the jail. But after when the person leaves the jail, then he's a free person outside again. Same when you leave this world, then you become a free person in Jannat after you become. So, for example, when you explain to children, sometimes tell them that Jahannam is a very good place, you see. That's why a very good place? You see, because the Jahannam is acquired with the action you do in the world. You do all the wrong things in the world, you enjoy doing wrong things in the world. You enjoy doing wrong things in the world, now that the result for that is Jahannam now. And Jannat is a place where there is restrictions in the world. Where you restrict yourself from many things now. You put pressure on yourself. And the result of that now is Jannat after that. So the world when there's restrictions in the world, then there's comfort in the year after. But when there's no restriction in this world, then there's punishment in the year after it is. So it's a logical thing which your person try to understand, that in this world, if you're going to suffer in this world, then hereafter you're going to get comfort, you're going to get comfort. You're going to enjoy in this world, in order to follow the commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're going to break all the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and enjoy yourself, then the result will be punishment in the year after. At the same time, trying to understand, when a person makes guna and disobeys Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he enjoys the guna. Guna is very enjoyable, but the enjoyment remains for a little while, only till the guna is made. And after that, it's only punishment and regret after that. But a person does some ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's difficult on the person, that was for a little while only. And after that, it's comfort after that. After is respect and comfort after that, Jannat after for a person. So when a person must always remember that whatever difficulties come, the difficulties won't remain forever. It will get finished. There was one king, the king called the ministers, they told him to give me such a sentence, they can help me in a time of happiness also, the same sentence can help me in a time of sorrow also. So the minister got together and tried to think what was do. So he went to one Buzruk and told him the king has made this request, what was he do? The Buzruk told him very simple, say, right, that this day also will get finished. He will overcome this day also. Okay. So he took that and gave to the king, put it and said, now, so let me test it out now. The day he was in sorrow and difficulties, he read that said, this day also will get over. So he got contentment. The day he had extra lavish life, say, this day also will overcome. So contentment, they also had contentment. That you can't over enjoy yourself and when for nothing, then how are you going to plan yourself? You've got to plan yourself to make things equal. You can't enjoy so much on one side and to go to one extreme, and other side you will end up into poverty after that. So you got to balance yourself in such a way that you don't end up into difficulties. Some people, they make an objection, they say, they find that some more meaning you will find that there are a lot of comfort there. And some kuffar will find they're in difficulties also. So how this confusion comes in the person sometime. So the answer to this hadith is that that's what somebody explained here is not for general. It's not just for specialized for some people. General people will find the condition is others will find. So the rule is made for general normally, not for special situations. So in reality, this world is a place of a prison for mu'min, and it's a jannat for the non-believer. Because a mu'min has got restrictions, you can't do a lot of guna, disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's like a prison. And for kafir, it's got no restrictions. So he's like jannat, so he enjoy whatever he can enjoy himself. So in the year after, a mu'min will get jannat and kafir will get jahannam after it. He could pay for whatever we did. And you get the reality also at the same time. Even if a mu'min has got some comforts in this world also, whatever it is, but that comfort also compared to the comfort of jannat is nothing. Nothing compared to that. So that shows that the comfort, whatever comfort is got here also is nothing compared to the comfort of jannat. And the kafir, no matter whatever difficulties he has in this world also, that also is compared nothing to the punishment of the year after. No matter how much of comfort he can get in this world, the kafir also, compared to the punishment of the year is much more severe than that. So for me, we can understand how we can get consolement and how we can get contentment with ourselves. Nabi Karim showed us that formula already. Another example, the time Rahmatullah explained, he said that, for example, you find there is a cage. A person has got a cage and got a bird in the cage, and is in the jungle, and an open place, everything there, and got enough food in the cage for the bird. And the bird will see now so much other birds are outside the cage, they're enjoying themselves, they are free outside there. Okay. And he's thinking that why was I sit here like this now? But I got all the comfort with myself, and they are all free. On the other hand, there's another person in the cage also in the jungle outside there, and this person has got less food is got inside here, but outside there's a person standing with a knife in his hand. And just let the bird come out, and I will slaughter the bird now. Okay. So that is the example of jannat and of a mu'min and a non-believer. That the jannat, that world is like a jannat for the non-believer, and it's like a jail for the mu'min, and the year after, the jannat is for the believer, and the jahannam is for the non-believer. So when you listen to see some examples and listen to the examples, it becomes easy to understand sometimes what is being mentioned in the hadith also. So examples makes things easy for us to understand. So the more we ponder and the more we think, that makes things easy for us. So Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq of understanding and to put our mind to understand the reality of life, reality of what Allah Ta'ala has put forward to us. That will bring consolement to us, bring comfort to us. And normally you'll find that one is called laziness. Laziness is something which Islam doesn't approve of. That's why you find in hadith also you'll find, and Nabi Islam makes dua to Allah save from laziness. In the Quran also you find Allah say that must stay away from laziness, must stay away. Why is that? Because laziness is not part of a mu'min. Must always be active and doing something, going forward. It must be. Laziness you get different types. You get, for example, one person only sleeps all day. That's also laziness. It's not correct. Go to sleep within limits. You go to sleep. Then one type of laziness you'll find the person don't want to work, for example. That's also not correct. You go to work to have your earning. And you go to work. Yeah. So that one is person don't want to think at all. That also is called laziness of thinking now. He doesn't apply his mind to think and do something. To invent something, for example. The person don't do invent something. That's also type of laziness. You got to be active to invent something to make life easy for the person. Like the previous, you'll find how many Muslims were so active. They invented so many things. They invented, and they were torch bearers of the modern culture of that time. They were, and once we stopped thinking and utilizing it, and became so lazy, we became. But the result, find that we can nothing to the world we can now. So it's important that we try and make our children understand that we got to be active all the time, have a reading culture within ourselves, and try and progress and invent such things and give the people who give somebody, people like them. People who all take, nobody like those people. We must be givers, no, we mustn't be takers. Givers, then people like us. But if we want to be takers, nobody will like us. So we must be giving people, giving the world something we must try and give them, and that will show that the people will love us because of that. But what's the condition of our Muslims nowadays? You'll find that they want to build have big weddings, they want to have big halls they'll build for functions and all that. They got no time to build madrasas, they got no time to build masjids, they got no time to build schools to educate our children to do something. They haven't got time for all those things. Then they complain that other nations have got to educate it, they can do a lot of things, they can do everything. But that doesn't solve the problem. We got to spend our money to educate our children, to do something, to give the community something, to give the world something. There's one alim was explaining in India, he's asking the audience, he's telling them, how many Muslims are there in India? Say that how many 20 billion whatever Muslims there are, they say. Say each Muslim can only give 1 rupee a day only. How much will that be? Say, so many 20 billion a day you're going to collect. And what you can do with that money? You can build so many schools, you can build with that. So many madrasas you can build with that. So many masjids you can build with that. How much good work can't you do? But the people don't understand that how to utilize the resources for the benefit of humanity. They don't know that. They don't want to do those things. So until we know work ourselves, we must spend more money on our big weddings than we spend. Buying big cars, big houses, and then whatever now, like in our country what's happening now, people got big cars, then find us kidnapping taking place, hijacking taking place, all these things, because we want to show off whatever we got now. We won't try and live a simple life and do what we are supposed to do, but we want to show off now. What the result now, we find we are in that problem we can come up now. So the more we understand our deen and our purpose of our creation, what must we do, the more we'll be more safe we'll be. But the minute we don't to discuss that, then we'll be more in danger. We'll be. Allah gives us topic for understanding and practicing and living a comfortable life within our means, that we can get contentment with ourselves also, and we can have a happy life, inshallah.